Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book, Networking Like a Pro, and I'm here with my good friend Deb Dowdy, sales and personal empowerment coach, and I'll tell you, we've got some good stuff here today because we're going to talk about how to grow your direct sales business even when you don't have a lot of time. And I know we've got a lot of people who are listening in sales and direct sales and the network marketing who are part-time. Right? 85% of all people who are in direct sales are in some type of other business, right? They have another full-time job. And you don't have a lot of time. We also have some folks who are full-time. I know I do full-time in terms of my own business coaching, and I know you do coaching and stuff full-time as well. And you know what? I don't have a lot of time myself. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of stuff kind of going on. So we're going to talk about how to grow your direct sales business even when you don't have a lot of time. But before we get into that, let me give you a little recap, because the last session, what Deb and I talked about was what you would be able to do if you wanted to grow your direct sales business and get the work-life balance you deserve, right? Without killing yourself in the process. And we had about 2 or 3 things that I thought were pretty good that we went over there. So if you want to check that out, you certainly can feel free. But before we get into all of that, Deb, I know you used to work at Mary Kay. I know that you were a sales director. You actually worked at Mary Kay for 20 plus years. You were a sales director and drove for free for 16 plus years, right? Tell us a little bit about how maybe, give people, if they're not familiar with you, a little bit of your background on where you're coming from, where you're at, and kind of how you got to being able to even do this kind of stuff.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And, it's funny because all those years ago, over 25 years ago, I was with the Walmart Corporation.
Okay.
And I was working 60 to 70 hours a week, week in, week out, nights, weekends, all over the place.
Right.
And, for me to add something else on my plate, because I was already so busy, had 1 child at the time, married, had a pet. And then when I decided to add the second child to that mix, life even got more crazy. So with that said, I really had to figure out how to do things, quick, fast, and in a hurry, but the right way.
Right, of course.
And I always kind of like to say that, success really is doing the right things long enough.
Right.
So part of my background with having so much to do and still working my corporate full-time job, it was a little crazy. So I really had to become masterful. Like I said, in our other video, if you kind of, with us a little bit earlier, you had to become very masterful at different things.
Right.
And I also found that with the limited time that I had, I knew that I could be successful, and I was one of those people, Brian. Obviously, you can tell I'm probably a little type A, just a little bit. But I was one of those people who wanted the success. I wanted it quickly, and I wanted to make a lot of money along the way. But doing it, like I said, the right way.
Yeah, that's awesome, because I know a lot of times there's people, like I said, who are listening who, maybe you're in a full-time job right now and you're trying to get out. Maybe you're in direct sales full-time and you're trying to get to that next level. Maybe you're trying to recruit more people. Maybe you're trying to, just grow the business, however that may be. And what we're going to do is, one of the things that I always talk about with my clients, I know you do the same thing, is the idea that you only have a certain amount of time in a day. Right, 24 hours. If I was smarter, I could tell you how many seconds. I was trying to do the math in the head while she was talking. I can't think of it. But you have 24 hours. You have 7 days in a week. That's easy math, 365 days in the year. And what we want to be able to give you are some kind of concrete ways to grow that direct sales business, even if you don't have a lot of time. So you can get from here to there and do that without killing yourself in the process. So give us a few tips. I know I've got some, you've got some. Tell us a little bit about some things that you feel that people can do, actionable. Jump right in and listen
awesome.
right away.
One of the things that I actually did do when I was working 60 to 70 hours a week was during the lunchtime hours, even though a lot of times I wanted to take that break and go sit down with, the associates, and go sit down with the managers, those types of things, or just kind of sometimes, to be honest, go in my car and take a nap.
Right.
That really didn't happen. What I chose to do at the time for very short term, I chose to actually go out into my car a lot of the times, listen to a positive CD, maybe a training CD, maybe it was an educational, motivational type CD. Sometimes I would even listen to different things that were books on tape, but it was pertaining to what was going to help me in the business at the time. another thing I used to do during that lunchtime break really was, besides eating, of course.
Right.
Let's not forget that you have to eat to have the energy to keep going.
Right.
But was actually bring like my hostess packets, my thank you cards. I was very big and still very big, and I know you are as well. Writing handwritten cards to the clients, thank you, and thank you for the referrals, those types of things. But I would bring the hostess packets with me. I would fill those out, and sometimes I would even make calls during that lunch hour when I knew purposely those hostesses that I had coming up, maybe for the week or the previous week that I wanted to thank. I would leave quick, like 30-second thank you calls, or thank you in advance for allowing me to get together with you and your friends. Those types of things to kind of solidify the upcoming business.
That's a great idea.
Instead of me wasting my time during lunch, and we used to have a national sales director that used to tease all the time and said, you know what? You could sleep when you're dead. Sleep is just an interruption of time. But I mean, although you have to have a proper amount of sleep, come on now. I chose not to do those other things, and I chose to be more effective during that time.
Now, great points, right? Because one of the things you're talking about, so that's for our part-time folks. But you know what? Our full-time folks can do the same type of thing, right? If you're on the move, I know for me personally, I will have, like for my laptop bag, I'll have, first of all, I put like you talk about training. I put some magazines. Like if we were to go, I don't know where it is. I guess it's in the car, but my laptop bag has different things in there. I've got magazines, and I've got a book. Actually, I've got 2 or 3 magazines, and I have a book. Okay, and my reading glasses. By the way, I just got reading glasses. So I've got all 3 of those things right in there. And those are, I can just kind of pick those up. I can read them. If I'm waiting for somebody, how many times do you see people, these are people who are waiting for an appointment where, the first thing that they have a few minutes and they go on the phone and they're just trying to whatever. How about read something? How about, do some other things? How about even, taking a look at some ways that you can, train and educate yourself. And your other point about having those training CDs, we're big CD. I'm a big CD person.
Me too.
I know you are as well. And one of the things, and we'll talk about this, one of the things that we actually have a program on how to win at the game, winning in direct sales game. And those are CD based.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'll pop different CDs. I will pop Brian Tracy. I will pop, not Zig Ziglar as much, but Brian Tracy, Tony Robbins, these types of things in there. And I will squeeze these types of things to squeeze more time out of my day when I don't have a lot of time to begin with.
Right, and those things I think are the things that kind of feed you and give you energy versus zap you.
Right.
Another thing actually I used to do was of course, a lot of direct sales companies and network marketing companies encourage weekly sales meetings or whatever they want to call it, weekly gatherings.
Right.
And they also usually have monthly trainings and workshops. So what I did religiously, do you hear me? Religiously, like clockwork, was I would bring a guest to every single function that we had, every function. And that was whether I was a brand new baby consultant working, full-time job doing this part-time, up all the way through being a sales director with Mary Kay. Now, I was a sales director for over 15 years.
I understand.
And one of the things that we would do is teach and lead by example.
Right.
So why would I not want to bring guests to different functions? Because twofold. Right. I wanted to either sell the product to them, because that gave me immediate cash flow right then and there.
Of course.
It helped me build the relationship with them, whether they became a client or not. But it helped me to build the relationship. 9 out of 10 times, of course, they were going to be on the product, of course. Right. Or the other thing really was to recruit them. Right. Because, we used to have a saying that your sales is your immediate cash, but the recruiting end of the business and team building was your retirement fund. Right. So with that said, I always brought a person with me to be exposed to the business. Regardless whether it was sales or the opportunity. Right.
And that's awesome because, one of the things when you're going out there and doing things, you want to be able to kind of get a 2 for 1, right? Be able to kind of 2 birds with 1 stone, however you want to put it. And, one of the things that I talk a lot about is the idea of when you're going out there and trying to grow your business and get more time out of it, you need to treat it like a business.
Absolutely.
And I think, and I know you talked about this in the previous session, you have to treat it like a business. And I think think a lot of times I call those kind of hobby entrepreneurs,
Right.
right? If you're, and I know you've said this before, right? If you're going to treat it like a hobby, you're going to get hobby results.
Absolutely.
If you want business results, then you need to treat it like a business.
Absolutely.
If you want hobby results, then keep doing what you're doing, right?
And it's probably going to cost you more money, by the way.
Because that's what a hobby does.
Absolutely.
A business is an investment. A hobby
Right.
is a cost.
Right.
And there's a difference between that,
Big
right? I'll say that again.
Mm-hmm.
A business is an investment, and a hobby is a cost.
To it.
Okay? And what you want to do is look at your business as a business.
Right.
And when you do that, you'll become more efficient with your time.
Absolutely.
You'll be able to get the work-life balance you deserve.
Right.
You'll be able to get more done in less time.
Right.
And I think at the end of the day, you'll be able to be more successful.
Absolutely.
You know? So that is what we have got here for you today. We're going to be talking about next time, we're going to be talking about some common challenges and mistakes that a lot of people run into in the direct sales business.
Right.
So that's going to be a good one, I think. But in the meantime, for Deb Dowdy, my name is Brian Hilliard saying so long, take care, and thank you.